Hey everyone, welcome back to a special edition of the Friday show brought to you by Woodbine. It's Thanksgiving, it's the football day, the racing day. We got all sorts of things. And this is the 98th annual Paulick Report Turkey Awards or something, maybe not 98.
Time-honored tradition.
It is a time-honored tradition. Speaking of Woodbine as our sponsor, this weekend, the Kennedy Road Stakes on Saturday. And Joe, this is not just another edition of the Kennedy Road. This is the swan song, the end of the road for Pink Lloyd, the 9-year-old gelding by Old Forester. What a tremendous career this horse has had. 28 wins from 37 starts, almost $1.8 million in earnings, championships in 2017, 18, 19, 20, including Horse of the Year in 2017. This is the kind of horse that people fall in love with when they first get attached to racing, whether it's a 10 claimer or a champion like Pink Lloyd, horses that just go out and give it their all every time. Pink Lloyd is one of those horses. Congratulations to his team, especially trainer Robert Tiller, who is doing the right thing. We've heard this expression, this horse has done enough, when he's a 3-year-old that's won a couple grade ones and maybe 5 career starts. This horse has done enough. And there's a big difference between that and a horse like Pink Lloyd. Congratulations to everyone involved with Pink Lloyd. And sorry to take so much time here, Joe, but I know you've probably got some thoughts on this horse too.
Yeah, absolutely. I was actually in attendance for one of the start of when he really became big. I believe it was the Jacques Cartier, one of the first stakes races on the Woodbine calendar. This was probably 2016, I think, somewhere in that area. Hootenanny was in the race, and he was kind of the main event attraction of this. And this Ontario bred that I'd never heard of, did not give any account to in terms of my betting, goes off and wins the thing. And by the end of the year, he's the biggest thing going at Woodbine. I'm looking back like, hey, I remember that guy. He was cool. And he's just been the center of the conversation ever since. It's been so cool to see him develop and become just a reliable horse.
Yeah. So that's Kennedy Road Stakes on Saturday. Be sure and tune into that to see the farewell race for Pink Lloyd. Sunday, the Gray Stakes and the Mazarine for 2-year-olds and 2-year-old fillies. Big weekend of racing. They're winding things down at Woodbine, but they're not quite done yet. On to the awards, the Turkey Awards. And Joe, we've got some interesting ones this year, and I'm going to let you kick it off.
Okay, so our first award category for this year's Turkey Awards is the Too Much on Her Plate Award, which goes to Bold and Bossy. JD, roll that footage. What a full day this 2-year-old filly had in a 24-hour span between August 21st and 22nd. It was supposed to be the day of her first start at Ellis Park, but instead she dumped her rider in the post parade, managed to escape the trap property, and she ran under tack on some of the local highways as traffic is just whizzing by this horse. And she was eventually caught after about 30 minutes. After a day like that, all you want to do is get your horse back to the barn, let him get some rest, and see what the damage might be. But overnight, the receiving barn where she was staying caught fire, and she suffered burns to her neck and withers, but she was fortunately successfully evacuated. As you might expect, Bold and Bossy is on the slow road to recovery at the Thoroughbred Center in Lexington, still treating the burns from the fire and her feet from the escape, but she's got her full future ahead of her. She's gonna make it. She's gonna be fine, and she's got a future.
I see what you did there. You just stole the line from the great Kurt Gowdy talking about a football player whose entire future was ahead of him. Where else is it going to be, Joe?
I mean, this horse, you never know the types of adventures that a horse can get into in their lives. This one had more adventure in a span of probably 12 to 16 hours than most see in their entire lives, but hopefully things calm down for this one in the future. All right, Ray, I think you got the next one.
Yeah, let's move on. This is the Kids Table Award, where someone has been in the industry has been selected to sit at the kids' table. Tony. I don't really know what to say about Tony. Tony is the GM, president, whatever they call him, at the old Arlington Park. Remember that track in Chicago suburbs? A beautiful racetrack. Well, they closed it down. Somebody might call it corporate greed, whatever. Churchill Downs owns the track. They've got the casino down the road. They shut it down. A lot of people thought it was a heartless move. Tony Petrillo appeared at the Illinois Racing Board recently talking about why Arlington Park and Churchill Downs should keep their OTBs open, even though they're getting out of the racing business in Illinois, although he said they're still looking for a place to build a new track. He talked about Churchill Downs' commitment to live racing in the state of Illinois and how the jobs are so important at these 3 or 4 OTBs. I think they have a couple of employees at one and a few others. And I mean, you just can't make it up. I mean, Tony, you cannot sit with the grown-ups after saying something like that to the Illinois Racing Board. So the Kids Table Award, Tony Petrillo of the former Arlington Park racetrack, soon to be maybe home for the hapless Chicago Bears.
The unmitigated gall. And yes, as you mentioned, Arlington Park, perhaps the future home of the Chicago Bears, who play the Detroit Lions in their traditional Thanksgiving game. It's a tradition every year. It's the Detroit Lions, and every year the Lions tend to lose because they're terrible. So we're going to look at one Michigan athlete who, at least we know that one Michigan athlete is going to get a win on Thanksgiving week. Here is our Detroit Lions award.
To go, and it's Barron. Barron puts away Jackson Traveler. Look at Timeless Bounty finishing with a flourish. He's a huge number. Timeless Bounty wins the Steel Valley Sprint.
Boom, put the Michigan Breds on the board. Timeless Bounty won the Steel Valley Sprint at Mahoning Valley on Monday at odds of 59-1. This is a $250,000 race, and the horse was picked up by his connections for a $12,500 claim back in August. That is one heck of a return on investment. Now, Timeless Bounty is a Michigan bred by the sire Elusive Hour, who stood at Rick McEwen's Pleasant Valley Thoroughbreds in my hometown of Edmore, Michigan, where I'm actually filming as we speak in the home township offices in Edmore. This is actually, I got some visual aids here. Edmore is about here on the state map. I also remember seeing Timeless Bounty's dam Nava at the racetrack at Mount Pleasant Meadows and at Rick's farm, where she became a blue broodmare, and class always pans out, even if you don't see it coming. Edmore, Michigan, surprisingly fertile ground for thoroughbred industry.
Have you had a blizzard up there yet this week, Joe, in Michigan?
Not yet. Had a really bad windstorm, got a little bit of snow there, but so far nothing you can make a footprint in.
I don't have a lot to say about Timeless Bounty. I'm not the expert on Michigan breds the way you are, but I do know a little bit about football, and I can tell you this. The Bears have lost 6 straight going into this Thanksgiving Day game with the Lions. And, I mean, you should be brimming with confidence right now because the Bears, they suck.
Yes, but the Lions suck worse. This is going to be a race to the bottom.
All right. Well, maybe we should have a little side action on that game.
Yeah, I'm not opposed. We'll talk off camera.
All right. Well, the next one is, you've seen it before. Families get a little maybe overserved or whatever happens, and a food fight breaks out. And we have an annual food fight award this year as well. Well, that actually started on the racetrack. Paco Lopez, who was in the chair there, was on a horse that he did a little acting. He tried to make it look like he was interfered as his horse was getting beat by Arad's horse. And Arad didn't take too kindly to that move. It actually was kind of a dangerous move, I think, when you look at the replay. And he kind of caught him in the chair there and threw a couple of good punches. And I love the security guard who looks like he's trying to break it up, but like let him get in a couple more punches.
Oh no, slow down.
It reminded me of a Batman fight almost. The only thing missing was the bam and the zoom on the video.
So I've watched that video a few times now, and I was just sort of like critiquing the form and everything. Irad gets one good shot in on him. The rest of them are more high body blows and actual sort of lands to the head. So if we're talking like scorecards and efficiency, I think we need to go back to the gym a little bit on that one.
We really have had actual boxing matches, I believe, involving jockeys before. And, do a charity fight. You could probably get some volunteers to go in the ring with Paco.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure you'd have a long list of signups.
All right. What you got next?
So up next, we have, when you eat turkey, you get real tired. You want to go take a nap on the couch while the Cowboys are playing or something. The stuff in turkey that makes you real tired is tryptophan. So our next award is going to celebrate someone sleeping on the job. This is the Tryptophan Award. So it was clear that the Delaware Thoroughbred Racing Commission fell asleep on the job when they initially walked back trainer Amber Cobb's suspension by the Delaware Park stewards for 2 years for a video tying up and beating a horse, and they walked it back to just 2 months. What really drove this home was how fawning they were over Cobb's testimony over that of the main witness who shot the video. Commissioner Richard Levine said, and I quote, "I believe Miss Cobb is one of the most articulate people that I've seen from the back end of Delaware Park." Now, if we want to talk about articulate, I went back, watched the video a few times. By my count, the video that was circulated, we had 3 F-bombs and a pair of MFs. Now, don't get me wrong. Anyone that's had a horse has cussed out a horse, myself included. But the evidence showed that there was plenty of sticks and stones to go with the words hurting here. And that means a lot more to me than how someone presents themselves on the stand. Amber Cobb has since had her license revoked by the commission after some further issues, but this one felt like more of a makeup call after a lot of private organizations took matters into their own hands. Delaware Thoroughbred Racing Commission, I'm glad you finally woke up from your nap.
Well, that's well said, Joe. My family had a tradition every year at Thanksgiving where we'd get the wishbone out of the turkey, and two of the kids would pull it apart, and whoever got the big part would be able to make a wish. Well, if I get the wishbone this week, I'm going to wish that not just the Delaware Racing Commission, but all racing commissions grow a little bit of a spine and protect the horses, protect the horse players, and just show that you've got a spine and move on some of these issues that we all know about. This was an example here where it was just stunning that they reversed their own steward's recommendation
and protect the people reporting these things too. There was a lot of sort of down talk about the key witness who shot the video, and that's something that really can't stand either.
Yeah, well, maybe the coming of the Horse Racing Integrity and Safety Authority will make a difference. Part of that law is that whistleblowers are protected, so that's a good thing. Well, you didn't think we'd get through this show without bringing up the Breeders' Cup. So we have a special award, the Too Many Cooks in the Kitchen Award. Let's roll the video on this.
That turkey gets me every time.
Well, so the picture of the horse in front of the starting gate, of course, was Modern Games, right about the time he was scratched. Then the picture The next picture was him after he won the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf on the Friday, Future Stars Friday of the Breeders' Cup. What the heck happened? Well, there were too many cooks involved in making that decision. There was the regular veterinarian, Dr. Dana Stead, who does a good job throughout the year, but for some reason, Breeders' Cup had a program of bringing in vets that could rotate in on certain races. So there was another veterinarian that made the call and scratched the horse. And I'm not saying he made up a story, but the story that the press was given an hour after the race or 2 hours after the race was that Modern Games reared up in the starting gate, hit his head, and burst through the stalls. None of that happened, as we found out later. It was just ridiculous. And for some reason, the Breeders' Cup has this program of doing things differently than they do the rest of the year. So, it's like when you've got too many people tasting the gravy, and just, it needs a little more salt. And by the time the 12th person gets through it, the gravy is just awful. It's just salty. It's just a salty mess. And that's kind of what we ended up here when the horse was scratched. Then he wasn't scratched. Then he was scratched for wagering purposes only and allowed to run. Nobody ended up happy except maybe the connections of the horse, who probably didn't want to bet anyways.
Yeah, sometimes a kitchen needs more of that blonde British guy who yells a lot. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but sometimes you need that one figurehead who makes the final decision. And clearly we had a few different people here making a lot of different final decisions that led to sort of a non-decision, and one that definitely didn't make a lot of people happy.
My favorite part is when, the customer came in from the restaurant after having his horrible meal, and he goes into the kitchen and he said, "Who made this?" And everybody was saying, "Well, he did." Yeah, there was a CHRB saying, "No, it was the Breeders' Cup." The Breeders' Cup saying, "No, it was the CHRB." And Delmar saying, "I'm not sure who it was." So too many cooks in the kitchen spoiled the gravy.
Such is life.
So, I'm just going to reflect a little bit on what the spirit of Thanksgiving really is. It's not just being snarky. It's also looking back on the past year. And I'm just really thankful that we've got the support of so many people at the Paulick Report. I've got a healthy family. My own health is good. Those are really the basic things. And every year I think of the people that take care of the horses. They may get a Thanksgiving dinner, but they got to get up early on Thanksgiving Day, on Christmas Day, on every other holiday. So I'm really thankful to the people that take care of the horses year in and year out at the racetrack, at the farms, and everywhere else.
For me, about a year ago today, a trailer came onto the farm that we board at with a little Uncle Mo colt named Underscore. And he has, in those 365 days, provided just a limitless amount of love, happiness, friendship. Just he's made my life much, much better in the last year. And I'm thankful for the people who have taken such excellent care of him from the minute he was born to the minute that he arrived on our trailer and beyond, giving us such a fantastic horse, a well-behaved horse, one without many serious vices, and one who has just been able to adapt to anything. He doesn't seem to have a lot of scars that, several racetrack horses tend to have. And this is people like Breeders Jay and Christine Hayden, Bernard McCormick of Cara Bloodstock, the team at Godolphin, especially their lifetime care program, the Brad Cox barn, the folks that patched Underscore, who now goes by Blueberry, back together at Root and Riddle every time he got banged up, and he got banged up a lot. The good people at Greystone Stables, each and every set of hands that Blueberry has had has done right by him. And I think about how just one weak link in that chain could have sent him in any number of directions. Anytime that I sort of look at him, I think about that. He's my best little buddy, and I'll always be thankful for the people who allowed that to happen. Thank you so much.
Well, that's very nice, Joe. You almost got me teared up there.
I do what I can.
I was doing my best Dickie V not to cry. But all right, well, we're not quite done. Don't go away. We're going to take a look at this week's Woodbine Star of the Week.
turning. Where's Neil and Silent Runner got away on the inside. Where's Neil has his hands full. Silent Runner's going up to hit the front and down the outside. Surfer Shore looks a real chance behind Gatling Gun. Is coming on down the outside late. Silent Runner, Gatling Gun and Surfer Shore are closing. But Silent Runner, David Moran has got the job done. Silent Runner by a length. Surfer Shore was a great second.
With a smooth move down the stretch, Silent Runner made plenty of noise, winning the Frost King Stakes on November 21st and earned honors as Woodbine's Star of the Week. This was a race for Ontario-sired runners, and the son of Unsilent Name put in his second win in a row in the Frost King after taking an optional claiming race by 6 lengths earlier this month. This is a 2-year-old, and he's only finished worse than second just once in 7 starts. Very promising future for this colt.
Love to see the Sunday Silence blood doing well in North America. Mike Doyle has been around for as long as I have, and he keeps getting it done. The man can train a racehorse.
Absolutely. And, you know, he's got 7 starts, which anymore for a 2-year-old can be quite a few. You know, most of the, Eclipse Award winning 2-year-olds only have, 3, maybe 4 starts, 5 if they're really ambitious. So to have 7 and to keep good form to be a stakes winning horse, I hate to say it's an anomaly nowadays, but it's kind of an anomaly nowadays.
Well, speaking of 2-year-olds, this weekend at Woodbine, the Gray Stakes for 2-year-old males and the Mazarine for 2-year-old fillies on Sunday. Saturday is the farewell race for Pink Lloyd, the Kennedy Road Stakes. One of these days, they're gonna name a race after this horse.
They have to.
Year. They have to, absolutely. Well, thanks for staying with us this week. The special Thanksgiving Day edition of the Friday Show. We hope you have a great Thanksgiving, spending time with family, and maybe going to the races or betting a few races in between the football games. That's going to do it. We'll see you next week.